Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome. This is a football talk shop, One Touch TV and Turner TV link up. And I'm your host, I'm your guy, Akpos, and we have Kanebi, aka Mr. Gobo in the building. Kanebi, what's good?
Man, I did. I'm just enjoying the World Cup, just scrolling through social media, just seeing all the memes, seeing what's going on. Social media is crazy. People are saying this is the best ever World Cup ever. Well, everybody has their own opinion, but so far so good. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm missing football already. But the semi-finals, Morocco versus France, and Croatia versus Argentina. I don't think the bookies really expected this, apart from France being in the semi-finals. But it is what it is, and right now it's a crazy time to be a football fan. In fact, crazy time, exciting time, because right now the bookies have won. And
this is crazy, yeah.
Nigeria Englishman, what's good now? What's good, my brother?
Oh yeah, now my people. This World Cup has been a pleasant surprise. Let's just say that, because obviously no one knew what to expect. It being in Qatar, the time of the year it is going to interrupt with the other European seasons, etc., etc. All the backlash in the social media, the press, but it's been a very good tournament. I'm not going to go as far as say it's been the best ever.
But can we say it's one of the best we've seen?
It's definitely one of the best we've seen. I don't like to cast judgment on a tournament until the tournament is over, to be fair. But as Kanebi said, so far so good. Great upsets. As a pair of semi-finals that we all didn't expect to see.
Yeah.
So it's exciting now, man. As you said, it's great to be a football fan right now.
But in terms of the upset, can we say this has been the World Cup of the upset, has been the year of the underdogs in terms of what we've seen in this so far?
Is it the year of the underdogs when the champions are in the semi-finals?
But we have an African team in the semi-final, something we've not seen before.
You have an African... See, for me, let me tell you, this African team thing, man, I'm not surprised.
Why?
Because the World Cup is in Qatar.
Okay.
The World Cup being in Qatar, you have less European presence in terms of fans. I mean, all the teams that did the One Love campaign, they all tells you a lot. The Netherlands didn't come with much fans. The English didn't come with much fans. Look at Morocco. Anytime Morocco played, it felt like a home game.
Yeah.
Anytime Tunisia played, it felt like a
Arabia,
home game. Even Senegal, it felt like a home game. Why? Qatar is closer to Africa. Okay. So, to be honest with you, I really like the fact that now we are showing the world that, look, our football is improving. Our football is getting better. Give us more slots in the World Cup. Give us more chance to compete in the World Cup. And I really like what I'm seeing. Although some people will say, okay, they're really an Arabian team, but to be honest with you, they're still in our continent.
Some people.
They're still in our continent.
They're playing the AFCON now.
Yeah?
Yes, now. You're the some people. It's not these some people.
Don't say you are part of the people. You are part of the people that will say they are an Arabian team.
What I would say is, when I look at it from a geographical point of view, yes, they're in Africa, but I would have preferred more of a West African team to represent us more, in my own point of view. So that's just it. Because the West African teams, to be honest with you, we have the best of the players ever that Africa has produced. We have the best players who are playing in the best countries, in the best clubs in Europe. And to be honest with you, the Ghanas, Nigerians who have dominated African football. But it is what it is. Senegal, they had their chance. They didn't take it. But Morocco is there. Morocco is in our continent, yes. They are an African team. But for me, I would have preferred the West African side more.
I hear you.
It's kind of a bittersweet feeling, because it would have been nice for a West African team to break the curse of not getting to the semis. But on a whole scale of our continent, you have to be proud and excited that an African team has finally broke that kind of hoodoo or curse or whatever. That hopefully that opens up the floodgates, and maybe these Moroccans, let's be realistic, they're 90 minutes away from making it to a final. Like, Samuel Eto'o wasn't as mad as they thought he was. Obviously, Cameroon, Morocco final, no one thought it was even possible. But the fact that one of those teams that he named have a very big chance of entering that final now is crazy. Some of these Moroccan players have played outside of their skin. Like with the rebirth of Hakim Ziyech. Obviously, the consistency of Hakimi. That midfielder that plays in France, Unahi or something, box to box, dribbling, ball carrying. That boy has been a revelation in this tournament. Amrabat as well. If we didn't already have an African DM at Arsenal, we wanted to go in for him
of
as
course for
well.
him to be
Yeah,
signed.
100%. They've not just come here and luckily got where they have. They played
They
good
fought
football.
for it.
They frustrated teams. They played good football. And what was the thing that you were telling me
They
during that
haven't really
game?
played good football.
No, I was telling you.
At moments, they played some good stuff.
They just
Yeah, yeah,
on the counter-attack.
What I was saying in that game was the fact that every time they've scored first, they're a very compact side, and I think like they're very difficult to break down. I think the only goal they've conceded in this tournament so far, I think, is an own goal or something.
Yeah.
So if they score you first, I always think like a lot of teams will struggle if you're not very strong mentally, because it's not just a Moroccan team. Morocco team. I've seen it. I've seen the North African teams do it a good number of times. They are masters of the dark arts.
Yeah.
They know how to frustrate you. They know how to get under your skin.
Frustrate.
They know how to get under your skin and make you forget all the game plans, all the things that your coach have told you that this is how we'll do it, this is how we'll do it. When you get on the pitch, just when you kick them, there's a way they stay on the ground that 30 seconds more.
Yeah.
You understand? Frustrate you. You don't even know when you want to pull them up and you get a yellow card and all of that. So that
break down the rhythm of the game.
They know how to break down the rhythm of the game, kill your momentum, and make you forget your plan that you've come to the pitch with. So for me personally, I think like I need to give them the kudos, because I don't think that they've played the best football. Because one thing Kanebi touched was the fact that some of the teams that have played the best football, they've all gone home. Kanebi said it. So I think like this team, they are very efficient in playing best to their strengths.
Yes, that's the key.
They know their identity. Yeah, they know their identity. They know their strength, and they're playing best to it. And I think like this is something a lot of African teams need to do more.
Know their identity.
Yeah, know your identity. Know your strength. I agree. Play best to it.
Yeah,
and be very disciplined at doing this, because I need to give this Moroccan side there. But what do you guys think went wrong for Portugal in that game? Because we need to talk about Portugal. We need to talk about Cristiano Ronaldo.
Well, I think Portugal, the thing about Portugal is just a team of individuals to put together, and I don't really think they're a team.
And they just have star players.
They have players, and the thing about Portugal is Portugal have never really been a strong football nation. They have produced great players. Produced Eusebio, Figo, Rui Costa,
the likes,
Cristiano Ronaldo. But they've won only 2 Euros, and the gap is very wide. You have to go back to Eusebio and Cristiano Ronaldo era. The time they hosted the Euros, they lost it to Greece. And you have to look at it this way, Portugal is the same thing with Holland. They're in the same bracket. Do you understand? When you haven't really tasted
serial underachievers.
Yes,
serial underachievers.
Spain had to break out of that chain. Do you get? But Portugal, for me, there's too much off the field drama. First things first, your star player is already fighting with the club he was with. Now you carry him to the World Cup. He wants to prove a point that he still can play football, he still can do it. You drop him. It now becomes a major story. The guy comes in, scores a hat-trick. You don't start him. It's a major story. The problem with Portugal is they never really got time to focus on their football. From day one, when Bruno did not shake Ronaldo's hand, it became a major story. Pepe had to explain why. It was a prank. I mean, come on, man. You are in a tournament to win. Ronaldo is taking all the story. Ronaldo not playing is a problem. Ronaldo playing is a problem. Come on, man. Team is never going to work. Because football, whether people like it or not, you are dealing with human beings. You are not dealing with machines.
True.
They are going to react off emotions, whether you like it or not. So, Ronaldo is a big shadow, a big dark shadow. Unfortunately, the last 6 months for him in football have been terrible, and it has creeped into the Portuguese camp. He's gone. It's the end of his World Cup career. It might even be the end of his international career. But let's not take that away from him. He's one of the greatest ever players to step on the pitch. And unfortunately for Portugal, they didn't bring up the goods against Morocco, but still they have a young team.
So for me, I think, all those things are taken into consideration, but you're there now, innit? You're at the quarterfinals. You had your last game was a convincing game. For me, where Portugal messed up in this game is they were supposed to start this game on the front foot. Really go at Morocco and get that early goal, because that changes the whole setup of Morocco. They have to come out a little bit more. They're a little bit nervous now because they're chasing a game which they haven't really had to do in this World Cup. So it would have been interesting to see how they would react. Would they now go toe to toe with Portugal, where there'll be a lot of counter attacks and a lot of more of an exciting of a game, or what? But they sat back. They let Morocco get into the game. Morocco now got a goal kind of against the run of play, and as you said, they're masters of the dark arts and frustrating them. And after that, the coach didn't have no tactic or nothing to change up the game. If I was him, I probably would have brought Rafael Leao on a little bit earlier so he can actually have time to influence the game rather than just be impact, because I don't believe he was used enough in this tournament. I probably would have made that change at halftime, him and Ronaldo, to be honest.
Can I throw this in? Do you think Ronaldo should have started the game?
No. I don't think you can drop a guy that scored a hat trick. You can't drop that guy, isn't it? And I don't know if they played together. If there's been something they've done in training where they've been able to play together,
okay.
Maybe you do it, but I assume there wasn't. You can't drop a guy that's got a hat trick. He's really confident. You play him. But as it wasn't working, I would have changed it at halftime and gone through the trusted what I've known, because if you create 2-3 chances, Cristiano Ronaldo in this World Cup, I do believe he was going to score one of them in that magnitude of a game, personally. But yes, there's been way too much drama in relation to Portugal in this World Cup, for sure.
Honest, this is the same. Did Morocco beat Portugal in the last World Cup in Russia? I think they lost either.
I can't remember.
Or Iran, one of them.
Yeah,
they got knocked out by a minnow team. The thing about Portugal is, I always keep saying it, Portugal, they're not a team. They have stars, they carry, and their coach is not a world-class coach. Fernando Santos, what is on his CV?
He should have left, to be honest.
What is on
but he's living off the Euros.
Portugal
living off
for
the Euros.
what?
He had a lot of credit in the back.
Yeah, that's it,
winning
man.
the Euros.
Yeah, but that Euros, they won it by fluke now. They won
But
it
not to win. No one cares
But
about that.
at the end of the day, they have the medal.
No one even looks about that fluke.
But to be honest with you,
Now win.
Portugal will always
Win is a win.
qualify from the UEFA Nations League, whatever. To be honest with you, he's not a world-class coach.
Yeah, there's enough talent in the camp for them to get it together. But as he said, he's not a world-class coach with tactics, so he doesn't know what to do with them.
So there's always going to be the difference between having the players and how you utilize them.
Facts.
He's not good enough. And Ronaldo, unfortunately for Ronaldo, you cannot beat time.
Okay.
You can't beat
38
time.
is 38, right?
Time is something. Time waits for no man. So
Kanebi, if I could pick what you've said now about Ronaldo, you said it cannot beat time. So what do you guys think is next for Ronaldo now? Because currently he does not have a football club out of the World Cup. Do you guys think this is the last World Cup we're going to see Cristiano Ronaldo?
100%.
And what, in terms of club football, what do you guys think is the next move for him? 200 mil, the talks of the 200 mil offer.
42. He's done. He's done as far as the World Cup is concerned. The only thing Ronaldo can do right now for himself, I don't really know. I'm not Ronaldo. I don't know. But I think for now, Ronaldo is trying to prove that he's a top player.
Yeah.
He's still a top player because obviously you still have the likes of Messi and still doing things. Messi's in the semi-finals. There might be a little bit of jealousy right there.
Okay.
But for me, I think you should just go to Yankee, man. You should just go to America, just go and chill out, make the most money you can. If he still wants to play in the top European team, who's going to afford his wages? And right now, the way football is a pressing game. It's 11 against 11. It's not 10 against 11. If you have Ronaldo in your team, you're playing 10 against 11. So, are you going to put a Ronaldo and try and win something or big clubs when you know that football now teams defend from the front? The striker is the first defender. So what are we saying?
So, a Nigerian Englishman, what do you think? What do you think is next for Ronaldo? Because if they have that the reports of that 200 mil offer on the table.
Look,
Saudi Arabia, what do you think?
I want him to take it personally. I want him to take it or go to America. The reason why is because a lot of football fans don't realize that Ronaldo is 38 or 37 or whatever, right? And how many 37-year-olds carry their team to a World Cup? I don't know if you could tell me, because there's not many. I don't think there's even anyone that's carried their team at that age. Do you know what I'm saying? People need to understand, him and Messi are not the same age. At the age Messi was, Ronaldo would have a little bit more in the bag to come through in games like that and maybe push his team because he's 2 years on Messi. So he needs to stop looking at Messi, what Messi's doing, because look, I started before you, so there's a high chance I'm going to end my career before you too. And he needs to accept that. But football fans need to understand that Ronaldo's arrogance is the reason why Ronaldo is Ronaldo. So I don't want him to change in terms of that arrogance because no one was complaining about the arrogance when he was winning Ballon d'Ors and Champions League. So I think football fans just need to accept the greatness of what he's given us in his career and stop being so hard at him now. Why are you expecting him to carry teams at 37? And why are you now having a go at him when he doesn't? He's done so much for the game. Let the guy give him his flowers. He should go out and get his 200 mil or go and chill in LA and just enjoy his football because he's given the game everything in the last 15 years. Just enjoy yourself, bro. Nothing to prove. Nothing to prove.
But what do you think about Pepe coming out to say that the referee that officiated the game? What do you think about him saying the referee that officiated the game was from Argentina? What's your call on that one?
It's just Pepe, like what we've been used to.
It's just him being salty.
Dirty tricks from Pepe all his career, man.
Just trying to do a Van Dijk. You know what I'm saying? You know, Van Dijk was like
deflection tactics, like trying to deflect the blame.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like trying to deflect the blame and whatnot. But at the end of the day, man, Morocco is the giant killers of the World Cup, and they're the surprise story. And when God favor you, God favor you. There's nothing you can do. They can say whatever they want to say, but at the end of the day, they had 90 minutes or whatever time span to prove, you know, the referee was for whether or the referee was for what. Doesn't matter. But for me, Portugal, they have a young team. They have a very good young players in that team. They still have João Felix. They still have Rafael Leao. Bernardo Silva is still a young man. He can still be in the next World Cup. So.
Nigerian Englishman, you have a soft spot for the Dutch national team.
Yeah.
You follow them even against African opposition, where I've seen some of your friends have criticized you for that the fact that you're supporting a European team against an African team, but you've explained that this is a team you've followed for a lot of years, and some footballers that come out from the Dutch national team are your favorite footballers.
Yeah.
So what do you think went wrong for the Dutch? The Orange Boys against Orange. That's the right one. You know it better than I do.
Yes, I do.
Because you are a Dutch faithful.
Look,
what do you think went wrong for them against the Argentines?
Just to clear up, just like you said, I have been supporting them for years. I fell in love with Dutch football, players like Van Basten, Rijkaard, Bergkamp, Overmars. I mean, the list is endless. So just like this is a unique World Cup for me because I'm not emotionally attached to it. So
Nigeria's not there.
Nigeria's not there. So that's why it can, no matter what happens in this World Cup, it can never be my best World Cup. Do you get me? Even though it's been a lit World Cup, right? But Holland, I love how they play. This has been the worst Dutch side I've seen at a World Cup since I've followed them. But they got the experience of Van Gaal. They managed to get it together and stumble their way into the quarterfinals. I won't lie, I went into that game confident because the football that I saw Argentina play against Australia, even not to talk about the loss to Saudi Arabia, etc. I thought Argentina are there for the taking. If we manage to stop Messi, then we'll be fine. I'm even saying the Dutch will be fine. But stopping Messi is not a simple feat for anyone.
But Van Gaal said something about stopping Messi before the game, where he said Messi is the most creative, the most dangerous players for the Argentines, but when they are not without the ball, they can't do too much. Do you think Van Gaal saying that might have ignited a fire in the Argentine team against the Dutch?
Of course, it had to have. I mean, that's why unless I don't know, sometimes overconfidence, over arrogance, or a bit too much mind games might be the defeat.
Too much talk also.
Yeah, it can be too much, especially with a squad that's so inexperienced overall, except for the Van Dijks and the Daley Blinds. Do you get what I'm saying? So maybe it was a bit naive on that point. But the Dutch got back. They were 2-0 down and they came back 2-2, bro. Everything was scripted for the Dutch to get that win. The chances that Argentina were missing in extra time, I thought it was like, yep, the Dutch's name is on the semi-final, but the penalty shootout, it's a game of 50-50. Nobody knows what happens, and I guess Martinez came to play again, man.
Kanebi, there's been a lot of talk in the with respect to that game between the Netherlands and Argentina in terms of the officiating. Some persons have said that the officiating in that game was a little bit partial. What's your take on that? Do you think like the officiating was the referee was very neutral in that game?
Well, there's some incidents that you could call into question, like Messi's handball and some other things. But it's Argentina, Holland. It always happens. These games are always
There will always be controversy in this one.
yeah, these games are always heated, and obviously, there's a conspiracy that some people obviously you always have Messi fans. So there's a conspiracy going out there, like some referees favor Messi when he plays. Van Dijk was complaining.
Which is clear to see.
Telling the referee that he's a normal player like us.
He's one of us.
He's one of us. Still give him a card. He's still a player like us. But I guess sometimes these things happen. There's star favoritism. It's not a myth. It is out there. There are some players that they protect. Just because
The name.
It's that player.
yeah, it's that player.
It's Messi. It's
They
Ronaldo.
want the player to be there to attract crowds, sell tickets. There's always the economic side of things. But at the end of the day, the Dutch themselves, they didn't really look dangerous till they brought on Luke de Jong and Fergus.
They look lost.
Do you understand? Who were, lump the ball, field, bring it down, hold it up. That's when they look dangerous. With Memphis and Cody, they were out of sorts. But like I said, the Dutch, they still have a good young team. They have some young boys coming through. Anyways, for the likes of them, Van Dijk and Davy Blind, that's probably going to be a World Cup career as well. The likes of Cody Gakpo, Timber, even this boy,
Dumfries,
they'll still be there next 4 years.
Talking about the end of careers, we've seen the news that Louis van Gaal has left the position and it will be replaced by Ronald Koeman. What's your take? Do you think Louis van Gaal, it's 71 now, we've known that he had the health issues. It's been a manager that's been there. I think that he deserves his flowers and his respect in terms 100%. Of what he has done consistently. Do you guys think this is it for Louis van Gaal?
Nah, do you know what? I'm surprised he was even there, to be honest. I thought it was already it, but I guess the Dutch were desperate. They needed someone to revamp Dutch football. I'm sure he's done a lot of things for the lower ages as well and left his legacy continued. But it's time for Louis, and it was just his last dance. It would have been nice he could have got this team and this young side, just like he did with his Ajax team. I mean, I don't think there'll ever be another manager to win a Champions League with so many academy players ever again. So he needs his flowers. He's gonna go down in history as a great manager, and I wish he could have gone out on a higher note, but it is what it is, man. What do you think, Kanebi?
Well, Louis van Gaal is one of the old school guys in the game. He's won the Champions League. He's won Dutch titles. He's won
La Liga. Did he win that?
Barcelona.
Oh no, he didn't win La Liga. You're right, he didn't. He didn't.
But
Bundesliga, sorry.
He's won things. He's been there. He's done that. He's made history. He's one of those great managers of the game. And for me, I think he's a cornerstone in Dutch football.
Dutch football.
He's one of the great Dutch managers and total football manager. Believes in young players. What else can you say about the guy? So he's a legend in the game, definitely. So kudos to him, and I wish him a great retirement.
Kanebi, what do you think about Brazil going out? Because that result was one that did not really sit down with you as somebody who really wanted Brazil to succeed in this tournament. And at the end of the game, you were very disappointed, very livid. But what do you think went wrong for the Brazilian national team?
Well, Brazilian national team, they went into the Croatia game. They didn't turn up. They didn't show up.
Okay.
Yes, they scored the goal in the extra time, but at the end of the day, we all know what Croatia is about. We all know Croatia. They love extra time. They love going to penalties. So Brazil, first things first, they didn't do their homework. Okay. You know you're going to play against a team that loves to play extra time, that loves to be aggressive on the ball. You know that they're going to press you high up the pitch. And Tite himself, he knows he has Neymar who doesn't like to track back. Vini's not going to track back. Rafinha's not going to track back much. Richarlison might walk hard around the box, but the balance wasn't right in the team. You play two centre backs. You played Danilo as a left back. You are playing who did he play at right back? Milita, right back. You see, the problem starts from Tite.
And
trickles
I
down
agree totally
to the
with that.
personality of
He's
and
the
mentality
nucleus.
of the players. Brazil had no business playing extra time in Croatia.
Facts.
They
Big
had no
facts.
business
Big
playing
facts.
extra time in Croatia, and they had no business thinking that that game was going to be a walkover. Against South Korea, they won. They played their Harlem Globetrotter football. We saw the Samba style, but at the end of the day, you have to keep yourself. You have to keep yourself
Focused on,
focused.
yeah.
After that game, Rodrigo has dyed his hair. You have not won the World Cup. You dye your hair after you have won the World Cup. You go crazy after you have won the World Cup.
Was it that these younger players, they're trying to be the superstar very quickly?
I'm
Because
not going to blame the young players.
Neymar's got his head dyed, so are you thinking they're trying to come? Because sometimes some people will say in pidgin, like, waiting junior brother, 16 brother, they do sometimes. Now the junior one won't do too.
And that could be part of it.
It's part of it. It's part of it. But at the end of the day, Rodrigo, he does his talking with his football, with his feet, not with his head. But at the end of the day, it's about the mentality. Are you focused?
Yeah, and it's at that moment after the South Korea game, because they were so flamboyant and confident and dancing and getting the manager involved. That's when I think Tite has to come into the change room after, because they've already had fun. They've had fun all over the pitch with the fans, everyone. They've had a blast. If you want this team to be champions, you bring them back down to earth. Then okay, that was fun, guys. We got a freaking quarterfinal to play now against an experienced side who got to last time's final. Get it together. But he didn't do that. And it seemed like he was just doing freestyle football. Forget who was in form. Forget the balance of the team. It's who I like plays. Like, as much as Richarlison, he scored goals in this tournament. For me, he still wasn't, for me, the striker for Brazil. I'm not going to say the name of the other guy, but you know who I'm talking about. Players like Martinelli should have been given more of a chance than Anthony to play. What's his name? Rafinha clearly looked out of it from the first game, but yeah, he got so much minutes. Like there's things that we could see that Tite refused to see because he likes these boys. These are my favorites. I'm the daddy of the group. Let me just make my own decisions, and it's come back to haunt him because as Kanebi said, there's no reason for Croatia and Brazil to be playing extra time. That game should be done in 90 minutes.
Yeah, that game should have been done
90
in
minutes.
And I feel it's a pity for Brazil. They have 4 more years again to rebuild. It's been 20 years since they last saw the World Cup or they won the World Cup. And this is a
got
team
to a
that,
final.
Yeah, gone to a final. This is a team that they are the most successful international side ever.
In terms of the World Cup.
But you see, my problem too with the Brazilians is we feel like it's a self-entitlement thing.
To win the World Cup.
Like, once we go to the World Cup, yes,
After
we're
winning.
favorites. We're about to win it, stroll into the yes. We should feel that way, but you have to earn it.
Yeah.
On the pitch.
On
Follow
the pitch,
through,
you
man.
still have to follow through. You still have to show that, look, you still have to make a statement. The French did that. The French have been doing that. Yes, the French have not really looked fantastic, but the French have been winning. There is no match where you go, apart from the Tunisia game, which we will call it a one-off because once Mbappe and Griezmann got on the pitch, we saw the change.
Yeah.
But the French have shown that, look, we mean business. We're here to retain our title. We're here to go to the final. And we're here to live up to the bookies' expectations.
And even with the French, and we've talked about it in the past. We talked about how we're not that impressed with Deschamps as a tactician or whatever. But the difference between Deschamps and like a Tite is one thing you can definitely see is he has control of his group.
Okay.
He has a control. Like, he's the old guy in the camp. Regardless of what we think about him tactically, the players respect him and they go and save him on the pitch because their individual brilliance and stuff save him. Like against England, it wasn't like he was tactically noose and he made this and that decision. I just think the players were like, we know how to win, bro. Boss, just put us on the pitch. We know how to win.
Get the job done.
Yeah, and they got the job done. And England, I mean, they did well in this tournament, considering who their manager is. But just like we both know, and we've just been talking about, is the managers are an image of their team. And I still don't believe England have an identity under Southgate specifically. And until there's a manager that knows how to utilize the crop of talent correctly in this English realm, they're going to keep getting far in tournaments and not having enough to take it over the line. And we're going to keep celebrating, but he got into a final. Oh, he got to a semi-final. But getting the job done. They created football and they're talking about celebrating getting to semi-finals. This is a joke now.
So he has to go.
He has to go, man. Southgate has to go. Do the right thing. Get down.
If I would want this would go a lot more longer, but we have to keep it between the agreed time frame for the shows. But if you're seeing this clip, it's been a good link up between One Touch TV, Tono TV, and also the Football Talk Shop, and also the Football and Pigeon. I have to give a mention. I have to give an honorable mention. The Football and Pigeon brand also. So
You guys should check out this channel, man. Football and Pigeon, Football Talk Shop.
Smash the likes.
It's on TikTok, it's on YouTube, it's on Instagram. It's everywhere, man.
So let's go, people. Don't forget to their description. The description to the socials is going to be underneath this video. Don't forget to press that subscribe button and also turn on the notification button. And thank you for watching.